Hello and welcome to the Comic Book Communicast, the official podcast of the Google Plus comic book community. This is issue number, I have the wrong number, 36, I think, for the week of May 21st, 2014. I'm Justin Beeson, and I'm joined by co-host Paul Christopher.
Good evening, everybody.
Sarah Evans is down with the space flu or something, and Aaron Travis is locked in the Phantom Zone. We're not sure where he is. So maybe he'll pop in at some point during the broadcast. Every episode, each of us... What was that, Paul?
If he can escape.
There you go. Every episode, each of us talks about the comic that was the top of our read pile for the week, and then we'll get to this week's news. So this might be a short one since there's only two of us, so let's get right into it. Paul, what was your pick for this week?
Maybe we'll just talk about more than just the top of our read pile this week.
Yeah.
So my pick this week was Saga, number 19, the Glorious Return. It's written by Brian K. Vaughan and with art from the amazing Fiona Staples. Absolutely love her art. So, Saga goes on hiatus after the end of each arc, so like every five I keep want to say episodes, like every 5 issues. They go on hiatus, relax, recuperate, and then they come back. And this way, we don't have any filler issues. We don't have any what do you call it? We don't have like fill-in artists or writers. So it's always the same team and it's always the same high-quality product. And so we've been basically, it's like for big fans of the comics like me, when they go on hiatus, it's like rerun season on TV. You're just waiting for it to come back. It's like the summer break, and here they are. They're finally back. And at the end of issue 18, they promised some big changes, and they hinted at that because they showed the baby coming out and now as a toddler. It's been an infant this whole time, and now she's a toddler. And the book ended with a major upset. And if you're a big Saga fan and you've already read it, then you know what I'm talking about. Not happy with this, but I trust them. I'm gonna wait and see. But the rest of the issue was usual. There wasn't a lot of swashbuckling. There wasn't any shooting, any fighting. There wasn't any of the Will. I really miss him. Hopefully, we'll see him again soon.
Well, he's dying, right? Or near death?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if hopefully they won't completely kill him off. But I want to see that gang. But this was a nice, quiet issue with just the family, and Alana is now working in some sort of cosmic broadcast TV show of some sort. I'm not sure what the whole deal is with that. Soap opera.
Yeah, they got into that. Yeah, they got into that at the end of last arc.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got to see a little preview into that.
Yeah, it's
kind of like those soap operas, it seems, but it's live.
Yeah, exactly. And then the dad had a daughter, and I'm just horrible with names. You'd think with a book I love this much, I would be better with the names. But they were out at the park, and they were having a good time. And they have a new pet, an enormous sea creature of some sort. And but yeah, everything was all quiet, and then bang! That last frame, last page, puts everybody on their butt. So we'll see where it goes from this. But yeah, heads up if you haven't read it yet. It's big changes in store.
So I was talking to Sarah and Michelle about this when they picked up the two. I think we might have gone over this on issues. I don't remember, but people owe it to themselves to be reading this monthly. I mean, a lot of people are reading this in trade because they're catching up, but they are masters of the opening and closing pages.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can skip over this issue's opening page. It's another signature Saga opener.
It really goes back to the very first issue, the very first opening, because it was like this one. This issue starts with a birth, and the very first issue started with a birth.
Right.
Not quite so graphic, mind you.
Yeah. But it's TV head, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious because the experience because it's obviously not going to be the same if you're reading it in a trade because those opening and closing pages are amazing and they really grab you. I mean, like especially the last pages. You know, you have a few issues ago when you thought all of them were, or when you thought Lion Cat was dead, when the will got, I forgot, shot or skewed, whatever happened to them, and then this last page, and you're just like, ugh, I have to wait a month to
Yeah,
see how this plays out. This one seems like we're gonna have to wait another 6 issues to see the conclusion of this.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like ah, needs to come out more often. But
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
This
this is
might this one be a weekly.
yeah, yeah, this is definitely one of the if not the best comic coming out. You know, it's definitely top five.
Yeah, it's absolutely in my top three. Like this one and East of West and Fatale probably, but Fatale's going away, and then Velvet will another Brubaker title will just pop right up in there with Lazarus right behind.
Yeah, I don't think I could rank. I don't think I could. I have like a top 10.
Yeah,
There's probably like a top five that I couldn't say which one's the best, and then a top 10. But yeah, I don't know if I can rank them.
and the sad
All
part
right.
is none of the for me neither DC nor Marvel are actually in that rank. Maybe
Oh,
in the top
they're
ten.
in
Maybe in
mine.
the top ten.
They're in
Maybe
mine.
not,
Maybe we'll have to do that like for an issues episodes. Go
yeah.
over like our top current series. If you follow Multiversity Comics, they're kind of doing that right now. They're doing a series like a top 10 from this publisher right now. So they released Marvel, and then I think yesterday, the day before, they released DC, and then I assume Image will be next. And those are kind of fun to see what they think.
They're gonna have a hard time with Image.
Yeah,
So freaking good.
yeah. And Image is so crazy, especially because there's a ton of new stuff that's excellent.
Yep.
Um, but they're including that too, so we'll see.
Yep.
All right, so my comic, I had to because we've been waiting. When was the last issue of Forever Evil?
I
March.
don't know. Probably
I want to say it was March.
it's been
So
freaking forever. I know we've had a bunch of like post Forever Evil issues, but that way.
yeah, there's been at least 3 or 4
Yeah,
issues that
March.
reference the events.
March was the
March,
last one. Yeah.
and it was like the beginning of March, right?
Yeah, it was March 5th.
Yeah, because I want to say the number 7 was supposed to come out at the end of March.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, which, which I'm kind of curious. So this obviously we know that Grayson is going to be a new ongoing, and there was those couple panels where it seems to reference Batman putting him on that assignment.
Yep, exactly.
He's like, "Oh, this will be the most dangerous mission you ever done." I wonder if that was part of it, like if they had to retool that, if they like didn't quite know what they were doing back, in March or whenever it was supposed to go, and they had to like redo stuff. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they might have actually killed him off, or who knows? Who knows what's going on there? We'll probably find out about it a year and a half from now, like we did with Josh Fialkov and Jon Stewart.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, it was. I thought it was good, not mind blowing or anything. I thought there was way too much crammed into this issue.
Yeah.
Like at the end of issue 6, you get the Alexander Luthor reveal, and then his whole little mini arc is contained uh, within this. He should have come out like 2 issues ago, at
Yeah.
least,
Yeah.
because there's way too much power and way too much consequences from him being revealed to really do it justice.
Yeah.
And I also
Totally.
felt like the first probably like 3 or 4 pages were just way too much exposition of stuff that had gone on, and I assume the Justice League title. You had
Yep.
Cyborg coming out of nowhere saying, "Oh, I beat Grid, and here's how I did this," and then there was somebody else that kind of did the same type of thing. It's like, come on, it's just. I get that
Yep.
a lot of people were probably picking those up, but it was too much. They
No,
should have included some of it
especially
in
with all the
this.
build up for Alexander Luthor. Like, I mean, like the whole thing. Like,
Right.
who is the guy in the hood? Who is the guy in the hood? It's like they're so scared of him. What is his deal? And then, come on.
And then, they set up, that Darkseid's coming again, along with somebody else, which I guess I won't spoil, but he's on the last
Yeah.
page. And so you wonder when, yeah,
Yeah,
this is just the epitome of event fatigue. It's like
yeah,
when your event takes the better part of a year, you can't. You need to end it. You
yeah.
need to. I mean, actually, probably more than a year because if you count Trinity War and then
Hmm.
this, it's
Yep.
probably been at least a year.
Yeah, that's why I'm not picking up the new one. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with your
You, okay, I'll
challenges.
get
I'm
to that
done.
later, but the Futures End has actually improved.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so anyways, it was a good like both of the Trinity War and this arc have both been fine. Like they're good, but I want a beginning and an end.
Hmm.
I want a big arc and a big feels like it matters.
And
This didn't. Nothing happened. Like I mean,
yeah.
okay, I say nothing happened, but I guess because Lex Luthor's now a good guy and Nightwings, but those seem like it seems like Dick Grayson being killed allegedly and Lex Luthor becoming a good guy should have a lot more emotional weight than I felt like they actually did.
Yep.
Like I feel like nothing happened, even though those are two pretty big things.
It's because they were so short. And what it is, they wasted too much time on the wrong stuff with the space they have. Like I felt like the series was too long to begin with, but like if they had like taken use that space to look more like what you're talking about, like this transformation of Lex Luthor. They had spent more time focusing on that. That would have been interesting. That would have been worth it. Or really focusing on the idea of like the heroes are gone, so it's up to the villains to form a team, and the villains beat the other villains because they were really, those were the heroes that were needed in this case. That was an idea that was kind of in there, but it wasn't really the focus because the focus of this story was like all over the freaking place. If it had just focused on this core group of villains rising to the challenge and defeating the crime syndicate, that would have been really interesting. Evil versus evil.
I agree. And I feel like there should have been more time spent on Lex Luthor saving Superman's life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also,
I'm
yeah,
sure we'll get a little bit more of that in Justice League, which I picked up Justice League 30 to kind of or
we're not
31,
going to get
whatever
any more
number
of
they're
that
on.
in there.
To,
I've already read it.
how is it?
I'm going to just go ahead and drop Justice League for a while until they
All
work this out in their system. there's just no, there's just no damn way.
right. Well, I
Um,
picked it up. I'm gonna give it a shot.
yeah.
See how it goes. But
In this book, not the Justice League, but in this book, there's a scene where like Luthor, and it also happened in like in the book before this, like basically Luthor being smarter than Batman. It's like there's no way. And Luthor like
right.
outsmarting Batman is like, dude, fuck you. Okay, that's a contrivance. They did that. They did that because they had to position Luthor this particular way, and they had to show how cool he was. I'm like, no, no one gets one over on the Dark Knight. That's just it. That's it. Period. Just like the only way, like one of these other Bat family members are able to even tag Batman is because they're in their own freaking book. So they got to show how badass they are because oh look, I managed to punch the Dark Knight. This no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay, that's just so. Anyway,
Yeah, and also like Lex Luthor. I don't know if you're referencing this specifically, but including that when he swipes the kryptonite ring from
yeah,
Batman.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think
Uh,
I don't think it was the Kryptonite ring though. I think it was the yellow ring, the other yellow lantern ring. One could
oh.
use, but it wasn't fully charged. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a kryptonite ring. Yeah, no, it was a kryptonite ring because he teased Ultraman with it.
Oh, that's true.
When he's beating down
Yeah, yeah,
Ultraman,
yeah.
he's like, "I want you to stay like this," and he like puts it
Yep.
right next to him and then pulls it away.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
So that it just no way. I mean, I get that Batman was real, shook up about Dick almost dying.
And that's it too. It's like Batman's not. No, no, no. Not on the job. He's not. Nope.
And
Sorry.
there should have been more of like the one little moment where Catwoman asked Lex Luthor if he actually did give him a pill or if he just brought him back to life after hearing Batman go crazy, and where he's
Yeah.
like, "Does it matter?" Like
Hmm.
more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the art. No, wait. No, that was a different book. Yeah, the art's like but no, the particularly bad art.
Yeah, well, okay, so I forgot to mention the creators. Obviously, Jeff Johns. David Finch does pencils. David Finch is one of those artists that to where people love him or they don't really care for him.
Yeah, it's like if it's like on a frame by frame basis. There are certain frames where I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's good, that looks cool. And other frames I'm like, nope, nope, nope. So
Yeah, I didn't. I confess to not really paying much attention to the art in this one. I just kind of wanted to get through it.
yeah, yeah. Well, it feels like it's like it's a done deal anyway. It's like we've been reading comics that come after it for a month now, for more than a month.
Right.
And so it just feels like it's just okay. Well, we are obligated to go back and go ahead and finish this, even though it doesn't really matter. We've been dealing with the fallout forever now.
Cool. So that was Forever Evil. Thank God it's done.
Thank God.
And we got another big event right around the corner. Hopefully, it's not extended like this. I guess we'll probably find out details for the actual event next month because that's when they'll be releasing the full solicits for September.
Wait, so you're not talking about Future's End?
Futures
Or,
End. I mean, there's going to be some Futures End book too.
oh yeah, yeah.
Like they're saying that it'll probably happen like the climax of it'll happen in like March or April of next year, but it'll probably start again in September because that's when they're doing all the books jump forward. And if it's anything like this one, where all the books do something weird, and then there's an event book as well.
Yeah,
So
I may just be dropping DC for a year or two. I'm just I'm just tired of this crap. DC, get back to the present. DC, get back to the fucking present.
all right, so that's Forever Evil. What other books? What other good books do you pull this week, Paul?
Okay, I got American Vampire Second Cycle #3. I think I missed #2. I have to go back and look because I was reading this. And I'm like, I don't remember this where we left off with this. So,
Oh,
uh,
you have to. #2 is awesome.
yeah. So if I didn't read it, I'm gonna go. If I did read it, then obviously I forgot. I need to go back and reread it. So I didn't read this issue yet. Batman and Robin #31 with Frankenstein again. This Search for Robin is just one more arc that has taken way, way too long. They need to get done with this already, one way or the other, because it's getting boring. Um, Batman Eternal number 7. Now this is the one that I was thinking of, where the art was like so. Again, like there were some parts of it where I was like, hey, yeah, this is cool. The art looks good, but then like they would do these these weird what am I trying to say? You do like these weird frames, and like it'd be really hard to track the action. You can tell that he's like trying to be like really kind of avant-garde and R&D. Let's see who it is. Colors, lettering, editor, group editor. Where the heck?
Emmanuel Simon.
Yeah, Simeone. Anyway, yeah, no. It's like the colors and the inks are really good, and like I said, there's some like frames where you can go, okay, that looks good and all that, but just terribly inconsistent. Just overall, was not a fan. Was not a fan. And this is kind of like this kind of side story, and I really didn't like the way he drew Selena Kyle as Catwoman. I didn't like that at all. But anyway, so that was Batman Eternal #7. Batman Superman #11. The art here was also not very good. I don't know what's going on with DC books right now. And this,
Well, the Batman Superman 11 was like I think they switched it at the last minute because that got shoehorned into the Superman Doomed
yeah,
event
yeah,
like seemingly last week because it was a completely different solicit.
yeah.
And they're like I think Bleeding Cool posted there's like 3 different solicits for it. And so this might have been like an issue of Action Comics or something,
Oh,
and they put it over to Batman Superman.
oh, okay. Yeah, it was. The story was okay. Again, the artist for this one was doing stuff with what do you call it? With like he was doing like really gratuitous angling on Wonder Woman that I wasn't a big fan of. Pencils Carl Kirsch, Tom Derenick and Daniel Sampier. Wow, there's
Three
three freaking
pencils?
three Pizzlers on here. No wonder it's so messed up. You know, and just the story is sort of neat. You know, it takes place in the Phantom Zone and all that, but that was kind of cool. And they're like implying like some bigger, interesting things are coming down the pike, and I thought that was cool. But um, let's see, and then what else? East of West number 12. I mean, East of West, man, East of West. I don't know if they're even physically capable of writing a bad issue. I mean, it's consistently badass. It's just consistently a great comic. You should be reading this. This is another game-changing issue, but they all seem to be. So it was a really, really good issue. Um, let's see, Forever Evil number 7, Justice League number 30. This will be the last Justice League I buy for a while. I'll tell you that
Oh,
right now. I'm done. I'm taking them off my read pile until they square away this Luther bull crap. This is nonsense, absolutely nonsense. And they want Luther, like they're not even really being shy about this. They want him to be DC's Iron Man.
ah,
That's what he is. I mean, he's running around with his armor all the time. It's like purple and pink. So he's like a cross between Iron Man and the Hulk, because he's got the Hulk's colors and Iron Man's armor. So whatever. Knowledge issue number 4. This is a really cool super indie comic. If
yeah,
you
it's been really fun.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. If you're not picking this up, you should really think about it. It's about this guy who's changed his name to John Knowledge, and he's like the product of this secret government program called Talent, or like the talent pool. And what it is, it's these people who've had like it's the whole idea of like, oh, you only use like 10% of your brain, and these people can use like 100%, even though that's actually just a complete myth. But anyway, so like this John Knowledge guy is like the first one to come out completely perfect for the program. They've had other people that like have like been prototypes that didn't quite work out. So, but then he like basically immediately turns into a bad guy. So they go back and they activate the prototype guy before him, who didn't quite, he's still got like an incredible amount of knowledge himself. He's like super, super smart. He's able to process information, faster and better than everybody else. But he's still not to the level. He's like the beta version of this other bad guy, this John Knowledge guy. So they activate him. He's basically just like this kind of like fuck up guy. Like I don't know how to explain it. So it's like he's not somebody you expect to be a hero and all that. And he's given this FBI handler to keep him out of trouble. And then there's this other agent, the original one, they call 00, and like he basically just kills people with his presence because his like telepathic power is so great it just like fries people's brains from standing around them. So it's really interesting. It's like Intelligence, the TV show, if it were good. So you should check that out. Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 31. I may be dropping this series too, because before it was like really interesting, really edgy, really cool, but now Jason Todd has turned in his guns for what do you call it? For swords? No. No, 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 no. No. Keep the guns, Justin, I think you came
Oh,
off there.
sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, I muted. I was gonna. So he's dropping the guns and then sending them over to Dick to use in his secret agent doings.
Yeah, there you go. It's ridiculous. And you want to talk about like the outlaws. I like the idea of like these like are the outcasts and not really heroes or kind of like anti-heroes. I like the way they originally started out with that. They've kind of really gotten away from that. And I think this would be if they kept with him like with the guns and like the rebel outlaw types. This would be a good place for a grifter to end up, because DC really hasn't known what to do with him. I think he would be a cool part of this team. He could, or at least bump into these
He fits
guys.
the color scheme.
Yeah, he fits the college game for sure. And maybe they could kill off Jason Todd because replace him with Grifter, because I'm sorry, Red Hood. Who the hell's afraid of Red Hood? That's the dumbest name since Red Robin. You know, they really got to think about these names, man. So like, I think like a Jason Todd, like just stop calling it Red Hood, just call him Jason Todd. Like Jason Todd and Grifter miniseries, I would like to see that. I think that would be pretty cool. Um, I got Supergirl number 11. I think I'm going to be dropping this title too.
Sorry,
Uh,
what was that?
Supergirl number 11, number
Ah,
31. Sorry, Supergirl number 31. I'm probably gonna
she's still
drop
red.
this. Yeah, until they're done with this Red Lantern thing, because it's not even a Supergirl title. It's like she gets like 5 lines in the entire book. It's not really a Supergirl thing. It's like a Red Lantern thing. You know,
To be fair,
it's like
Red
a Red
Lanterns
Lantern
don't
book.
talk all that much.
Well,
They
everybody
just
else is talking
growl
more
and
than her. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
it's. It was This was just a terrible, terrible, terrible idea, and I'm just waiting for it to be over already. It's just dumb. It's dumb. The Bunker number 4. Yeah. This continues to be an awesome book. I really hope that they make it, they like go all the way through and this gets like a series order and we get to watch it on TV. So I think that'll be awesome. And last but not least, Velvet number 5. Holy freaking crap! This is a good book. This is so good. Velvet, like the art is freaking ridiculous in this book. Like the covers are amazing. Steve Epting is the artist, and the way he draws people is just like awesome, just awesome. The only artist I like better than him is the one on Aphrodite 9, whose name I can't pronounce, like Stefan something.
Oh yeah.
Um, and Elizabeth Breitweiser does the colors, and just this book is gorgeous to look at, and it's like super well written, and it's like if all comic book writers treated their female characters as the way that they do Velvet, then the world would be a much better place. This book is just amazing.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking forward to getting to that one because this is the conclusion of the first arc, right?
it is.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna take a break. I would assume
I don't
so.
know.
It seems like the new thing to do if you have one artist on the book
And that's
is to
fine by
take
me,
like
you know.
yeah, take like a 2 or 3 month break before you start back up again.
Yep. And if
And I
that's
would
what you
assume
guys
that
got to
they're
do,
gonna I would assume that they're gonna do that since Brubaker has his new image deal and he's got to be making all kinds of new series for them or whatever.
yep. Yep.
So I would guess that we'll get some breaks in between his arcs on his books.
And if that's what he's got to do to keep on putting out this quality of work, then more power to you. I will wait.
Sweet. So I had a huge list today. I think I had like 15 books. Um, some of the standouts: Adventure Time 28. Yes. Also picked up American Vampire, Bunker, Future's End. So issue number 0 was pretty great. I did not like issue 1 at all, but then issue 2 was good again. So I'm gonna keep. I'll probably keep pulling it until there's like 2 or 3 in a row where I'm not a fan of. But so far, I mean, like it's pulled me back in, and it's interesting. And I like that they're focusing on Batman Beyond. And they're like issue 2, they really focused on the fact that like Terry's not the detective. He needs a lot of help from his computer, which is named Alfred,
Mm-hmm.
and acts like Alfred. So it's kind of fun. Um, Justice League 30, which I'm gonna try and go in still with an open mind. We get another issues of Powers. Um, Great ongoing, and I mean, from what I understand, this one's going to be like all Bendis stuff's creator-owned stuff is going to be a little sporadic now because they have their new series, United States of Murder Inc. Velvet, Wonder Woman, which has been awesome, but is almost at the end. Really looking forward to that. Zero, which Paul, didn't you start reading Zero?
I have. I haven't caught up to the current one, so yeah.
Have you gotten to the end of the first arc yet, though?
I have not. I actually.
Oh
I've
man,
been. Yeah. I've been. There's been a lot of like stuff in the my rest of my life. That's been kind of putting a
Ah,
damper on this stuff, but I will get to it.
yeah, this book is so good. So good. And then digital issues, I picked up Knowledge, and there's a couple other ones, but I want to talk about Batman Beyond 2.0, which has been just great. Uh, I've talked about it before, but they're in the middle of like a crossover between that and Justice League Beyond, and they're doing an arc where they deal with the Justice Lords, which are an alternate universe Justice League from the Justice League cartoon. And so they're dealing with the future incarnations of them, what happens, and like Terry's alternate universe counterpart. And it's just been really fun. But the main reason I want to talk about it is they released a teaser for the next arc, which I guess Justice League Beyond's taking a break and Batman Beyond's going to go weekly. But the teaser is Batman Beyond, and then behind him is like a raggedy-looking Phantasm, which from Mask of the Phantasm.
Right, right.
And so if you're putting together pieces, basically when they relaunched Batman Beyond, they did a time jump, and instead of old Bruce Wayne mentoring Terry, it's now Dick Grayson, and they keep hinting to something happened to where like Terry and Bruce had a big falling out. And so now with this, Kyle Higgins said it's going to deal directly with that. And if you watched all of like the Justice League cartoons, there was a season finale in Justice League Unlimited where basically it's Terry like 15 years after the events of Batman Beyond trying to figure out what happened like with Bruce Wayne, and you come to find out that Bruce Wayne actually like genetically engineered him as his biological son. And like Amanda Waller actually tried to recreate Bruce Wayne by having his parents assassinated by the Phantasm, but she pulled out at the last minute because she couldn't do it. So has me all kinds of excited because Mask of the Phantasm is one of the best animated movies ever done, especially from DC.
Yep.
And tying into the old animated series is just wonderful because I grew up on those. So really excited for that. And then I picked up Batman 66 and Green Hornet. So this is a crossover series, and it's being written by Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman, which obviously everybody knows who Kevin Smith is. Ralph Garman's big around here because he's a radio DJ, but he also does a podcast with Kevin Smith called Hollywood Babylon where they joke around about stuff. But this is his first comic book works, and he's a huge Batman fan, so I'm really curious to see how that is. But yeah, didn't get a chance to read a lot of these, busy day, so and I'm still catching up from vacation comic books.
Yeah.
And so I've quite the stack in front of me to get to. So if you want to, post your comic books, we have a hashtag in the comic book community, hashtag CBC Pollbox. You can discuss this week's comics, talk about it with everybody else, post up your pull list, whatever. Join in the discussion on there. So, to news. The first one I want to talk about is somebody wrote up like a little article, and basically they had the Image Comics Humble Bundle, where you pay what you want for, God, I don't know, it was like 8, 9, 10 volumes of Image Comics.
And were they like,
what was that?
Were they trades or were they like
trades?
Oh wow.
Trades. I'll see if I can pull up while I'm talking. So did you not get it?
No.
Okay.
I'm digital only. I don't have the room for.
Well, no. This was digital. This is all digital.
Oh, digital trade. Okay.
But they did it through Image Comics stuff, where they do all the DRM free.
Was it like
stuff.
PDFs or something like that though? Was it like you could?
PDF, CBR, whatever your format of choice is, you can get it in all of those. So I mean, it was like $10 to pay over the average, and then you get a ton of comics. Anyways, they sold about $400,000 worth of comic books through this thing,
That's awesome.
which is kind of insane. Like, I wouldn't expect it to sell that well.
So, I mean, were they raising money for something interesting, or was it
They
just...
do. I mean, so it's pay what you want, and you can choose. They always choose some sort of charity to do it too. So,
Right.
but the people who buy it get to choose the percentage.
Okay.
So you can have it all go to the charity if you want, and you still get all the comic books. Or you split it. I think a default split is like 80-20, and this one was benefiting the comic book legal defense fund.
Okay.
But yeah, $400,000, that's a lot of money. And I mean,
Yeah.
it was a really good deal. I already had a lot of the volumes, but there were enough in there to make, I mean, really, $10 is worth it for just one trade. So
Right.
I think it was like 10 of them, so it's definitely worth it. But yeah, that's really cool, and I hope this encourages more publishers to do this, and which actually it already has. IDW did a Doctor Who one, but they only did it for like a day. But yeah, I hope there's a lot more of this because it's a great way to get a lot of comics all at once.
Yeah.
So next time around, you should look into it, Paul.
What now? Can I read it on my Comixology app?
No, you can't. There's no. That's the only downside. There's no, pinch to zoom and all that. You have to put it. You have to do it with a PDF reader.
Gotcha.
But you can load it to Google Play Books, which will sync your positions across devices and all that fun stuff. Hold on, let me look up and see how many, like what the books are real quick. I just changed all my passwords, so I had to figure out what my login. Oh yeah, so Cam, you had basically volume ones of Chew, East of West, Fatale, Invincible, Lazarus, Morning Glories, Revival, Saga, and Manhattan Projects, and then you also got volume 2 of Saga.
See, it's worth it for volumes 1 and 2 of Saga alone.
Yeah. So I think I paid like $11 and it got all those. It's only worth it.
Yeah.
Next bit of news. They released a few trailers in the past week. We got a full trailer for The Flash. Really excited for this show. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did. Now, are you old enough to remember the old '90s series?
Vaguely, but not with any, you
Yeah.
know.
Any clarity? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that show. It was a good show. I enjoyed the series. I like the. I'm not sure how I feel about the costume with this one, but I think I'll definitely be checking it out. And I have to catch up on Arrow as well, so we'll see how that goes. But the trailer
Definitely
looks
need.
really good. I like the trailer.
Yeah. Definitely need to watch Arrow. And from what I like, I saw some like kind of spoiler post on Arrow season 3, and it seems like they're going to be, excuse me, tying in to it a bit.
Yeah, it would make sense to kind of help the other one off the ground.
And then we got a new Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Yes, yes. I am so all over this movie. I am so going to be there.
I'd still can't believe like Chris Pratt. He
Yeah.
he's ripped.
So I wonder if he's going to stay ripped for a show. So I don't watch the show, but I've seen
Which show?
pictures of what he's like on some TV show.
Oh, he was on Community, but
That's right. Community's gone now.
yep, that's done. So
So it doesn't matter.
don't have to worry about that. So yeah, really excited for that movie. The next bit, also TV related. Multiversity Comics kind of released a thing the other day, and they were pointing out basically this fall, every single day of the week, or 5 out of 7 days a week, we're gonna have comic book shows.
Yep.
Which is awesome. So Mondays we get Gotham. Tuesdays we get Agents of Shield, and then also that's cool is when that one takes a break during the winter, we're gonna get like I guess Agent Carter is going to be like a miniseries, like an 8-episode thing, which is cool.
Well, the first season is going to be 8 episodes. Hopefully, that'll gather enough enough attention or enough viewers that they'll make it longer for the next one.
Right.
Or maybe they just want it as a hiatus bridge. You know, maybe that's it's like kind of a special thing where it'll always only be like 8 episodes. We'll see. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, and then also get the Flash that night. Wednesdays Arrows, Friday Constantine, and then Sundays Walking Dead.
Yep. It's good to see DC finally starting to kind of come out swinging. They've basically given TV. Well, they've already given up the movies to Marvel in a large extent, and they've given up TV in a lot of ways. So they're coming back swinging with TV.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean they've been pretty good in TV. I think Gotham's going to be good.
Yeah,
I
they did
just
get on
hope.
TV with cartoons. You know, but like his live action really they only had Arrow,
Yeah,
which was good. It was
I mean
like
I
I
like
really liked it.
Smallville for
Yeah.
not at the end, but I like Smallville for a bit.
Right, but that was like it was all by
But
itself.
I think if Constantine has a chance to be really good, because we've seen with NBC with the kind of stuff that they allow with Hannibal,
Yeah.
the storytelling, two the leeway as far as like graphicness goes, because
Yeah.
I mean Constantine should be part horror, you
Yeah.
know.
It absolutely
Uh,
should.
so so hopefully they kind of let the showrunners do their thing and don't interfere too much,
Yeah.
and I think it'll be good if that happens. So yeah, um, and then next we got news that DC is finally launching a second Wonder Woman title, although it's a little different because it's going to be a digital first. It's called Sensation Comics with Wonder Woman, and it's going to be kind of like Adventures of Superman and Legends of the Dark Knight, where you have a bunch of different creators doing one-off little stories out of continuity. But I think it has the potential to be really cool.
Yeah, no, because then you get people, you know, the opportunity to craft a really good story. You know, they're not beholden to continuity, so they can just do something really awesome that stands alone.
Right, and I think that also because there's been a lot of talk about how Wonder Woman is just way inconsistent across the books. You know, she's a lot different in her solo title than she is in Justice League, and Superman Wonder Woman is more like a little bit more like the main title, but yeah, it's inconsistent.
Yeah, well, it's because you know it goes back to the whole thing of like iconic characters and what you do with them, and they haven't, you know, Wonder Woman, even though she's potentially like this really awesome character, like nobody's really sat down and taken the time to like really shape her. So she doesn't have like this set, you know, iconic, you know, personality like Superman and Batman do. You know, like whoever gets a hold of either one of those characters is basically going to write them in a generally the same way because there's a generally accepted way that you write Batman and that you write Superman. You know, their personalities are already very much set in stone. You're not going to write Batman as some happy-go-lucky, you know, plucky, you know, Boy Scout. That's just not the way
Yeah.
that's going to work. You know, and they haven't done that
Yep.
with Diana, so which is a shame. We need a definitive take on her that sticks.
Definitely. And the last bit of news, which is the biggest one, we have the Batman and Superman title.
And it's a big
So
one.
the sequel to Man of Steel, and he gets second billing, is
Yep.
Batman v Superman:
Yep.
Dawn of Justice.
Wow.
WTF?
Yeah, seriously. How did this one? How did this one get out? How? I mean, nobody. I mean, like you know, Zack Snyder. Say what you want about it. He seems to like be kind of in tune with, like you know, comic book geeks and the internet, and so he's aware of it. You know, you think that he would have been able to look at that and go, "This is not a good idea. This is not a good idea." We've already got the sad Batman meme, and that was an awesome picture. And you know, there's they took something that awesome and they made this sad Batman meme out of it. Of course, something that is it's just it's a complete mouthful. It's like, did
Yeah, it's
Microsoft
not
come
good.
up with this title? What is the deal? Holy crap! I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. I honestly thought it was a joke. And then I just hoped it was a joke, and then I just wished that it was a joke.
I mean, there's a few things about this title. One, yeah, Batman gets first billing. What?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Two, like, why would you do V instead of versus? It makes it sound like a court case.
Yeah.
And three, basically they just said, oh, this movie is just going to be a setup for Justice League.
Yep.
So it's, that automatically just makes me think of, like an Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 was just set up for, Avengers and all that. Or Amazing Spider-Man 2, just set up for Secret Six and, all that stuff. It's just, ugh.
They should have just called it World's Finest, period.
Right.
No Man of Steel, World's Finest, no World's Finest, Dawn of Justice. It should have just been World's Finest and called them dead.
Right, and watch them not, like, their fight be, like, 5 minutes or something like that, and not even be, like, a real fight.
Yeah.
I think that would be hilarious.
But really,
the Batman suit looks cool.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking forward to the Batman spinoff.
You think they'll do it?
Oh, absolutely, they'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Batman, that title just keeps printing money. So Superman, which is why Batman got first billing. This is the second time they've rebooted Superman, so.
Right. Yeah, the more, just nothing. Well, okay, sorry. The costume was the first bit of news that was, like, on the positive side of, my opinion towards this movie.
Yep.
And now we're just right back to where we were.
Yeah. Just the trailers had better be pretty freaking awesome. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still a little bit ways off because they just started filming today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a long way to go.
Yep.
Speaking of filming, did you see? There's pictures I just saw of Hawkeye in Avengers 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got it's like he's got long sleeves and like a long jacket. It's like down like knee length, and it's kind of weird looking, actually.
No, I haven't. I didn't see that at all. When did that come out?
That I just ran into it today on in my stream somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll have to check that out.
Yes, weird.
Oh, and I guess, and then one last thing for the Batman and Superman. A lot of people are posting this, that according to Kevin Smith, or gleaming from just reading maybe too much into what Kevin Smith is talking about, a lot of people think that the costume is going to be dark blue and gray.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it, but if they do, I think it would be awesome.
I'm down with black and gray, dark blue and gray. I mean, I'd be cool with that too, actually, quite frankly.
I mean, if it was a dark gray and then, like, the same kind of blue that Superman's suit is,
right?
I think that could work,
Yeah.
And they would match.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Batman and Superman. I mean, obviously, I'm still gonna see it, but
yeah. See, what they should do is they say, like, this is not a Man of Steel sequel. This is a World's Finest sequel, and that's what they could do. They could, like, have, like, all of these things going on at once. So you could, like, you've already established Superman, so he's got Man of Steel, right? And now you've got Superman and Batman in World's Finest. And sure, okay, World's Finest is gonna tee off the Justice League movie if you want, whatever, right? And then you have the Justice League movie, and then you have their individuals, but then you have Superman 2. And then eventually you have World's Finest 2, but like you have Superman 2 or Man of Steel 2, and that's the one that finally gives us freaking Supergirl, so she gets the reboot that she freaking deserves. Which they've hinted at. So that's what that should be. The proper Man of Steel sequel should be the introduction of Supergirl.
Right. I think they.
Which would lead into.
Well, she's
World's
coming.
Finest.
I mean, Supergirl's definitely coming. They set it up. They set the stage for her to come into the movies.
Yeah, but
Um,
in a really bad way if you go with the comics. But anyway, yeah, I'd just be happy to see her and see her done well.
yep. So I think. Oh, one thing when we were talking about the Sensation comics, I forgot to mention the biggest part about it is that Gail Simone's doing the first arc,
All
which is
right.
which is a pretty big deal because a lot of people love Gail Simone's Wonder Woman,
Yep. Yep.
and seeing her back on there is cool. So I think that about does it. We'll have to check on Aaron, make sure he's alive.
Yep. Okay,
So
get back. So you didn't read the Batman Superman for this week? For this
no, not yet. I haven't.
See, because you mentioned the whole Phantom Zone thing, and the whole issue takes place like in the Phantom Zone.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I was like,
No, I had no idea.
That's why you brought it up. Yeah.
Nope, I have not read it. It's sitting on my pile. I read
See,
2 comics this week, and
the
that was
whole
my comic and your comic.
see, the whole Phantom Zone thing, I think, would be an interesting like miniseries or graphic novel unto itself. The idea, but the thing is, they're like saying, oh, in the Phantom Zone, you're actually incorporeals; you can't harm each other. But the idea of
Right.
like all of these like Superman scale villains trapped in this world together, and then them just like going at it like a free for all, and that would be an interesting book to see like out of like these top guns, you got like who wins. It's like kind of a Planet Hulk thing or something. I don't know who wins out of that. That would be very very interesting to read.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy.
Yep.
All right. So I guess that about does it for us. The Communicast home on the web is #Communicast on Google+, youtube.com/comicbookcommunicast, and cbcpodcast.tumblr.com. Find all our episodes in there. We'd also greatly appreciate any shares, Twitter, Google+, post us to Facebook, all of it.
If
Send
you
us
like those,
comments. Yep, do that too. +1s.
yep.
Send us comments. We'll respond. Let us know what you think if you have any suggestions. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.